pro cards are being offered like candies today.
Right.
So anybody can turn pro. What I'm saying is, because it's become very business. Federation want to make money. Dulu, nak jadi pro, you must win the Mr. Universe overall.
Right.
Or you got to take part in the US NPC, which is only held in US, to turn pro. So very hard to turn pro.
Right.
If you turn pro, it really means something.
Yeah.
Today, there is pro qualifiers in almost every country. Turning pro is still tough, but what I'm saying is like, it wasn't as difficult as before, and tak ramai orang ada peluang nak jadi pro.
Okay.
And when you become pro, what's next?
Bayangkan jikalau anda juara dunia, nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3. Apa yang akan anda merasai? Guest saya pada hari ini akan berkongsi perasaan dia, pengalaman dia, dan mungkin dia pun akan memberi sedikit nasihat kepada anda semua. Before we begin, I'm in a mission to reduce 1% obesity in Malaysia. You can help me by liking and sharing this content with your friends. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 40. And please welcome Mr. Kumares. What's up, bro? Apa khabar? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah,
Good.
more than happy and pleasure. Many of our guests and listeners want to hear advice from you. So before we start regarding about you giving advice to the youngsters, the future bodybuilders, we have one question from the followers asking about nutrition and dieting.
Okay.
You, as the best of the best in Malaysia and number 2 in the world, what is a diet currently you're following now?
Now I'm in my off-season phase.
Okay.
I'm already about 7 weeks into it. I've got another 10 weeks of off-season before I start my in-season. It's cutting. So at the bulking phase, I am not in an extreme bulking where I want to go very big and all that. I try to still keep about only 10 to 12 kilos off my stage weight.
Okay.
So at most 12 to 13 kilos.
Okay.
So my body fat level is still below 12 to 10% now.
Okay, we're going to stop there sekejap. People say when you bulking, you have to go all out, as in like betul-betul gemuk. What's your...
More.
Like, that's what they say. They say like when you bulk, you get fat. So you have to pack on as much weight as possible. What's your opinion?
Okay, first of all, this measuring body fat level itself is it's not, you can't get exactly what you're looking for, correct or not? Because this, you want betul-betul tepat, you must masuk dalam satu air or what, like that kind of thing. That's the most accurate one, right?
Correct.
Okay, but leave that aside. I always use the mirror when it's my judge.
Okay.
So I approximately know how I look, because I've been doing this for years, 20 years now. Okay, but leave that aside. For coming back to your question, when my standard rule is, not rule, advice is, the extreme bulking is usually done at a very young age. That means when you're early to bodybuilding, somewhere in your 20s, early 20s. Even then, I encourage somebody not to go more than 15 to 16% of body fat.
Right.
Don't even go above 20 all is already not advisable. Then you're no longer a bodybuilder. That's already being
Sumo wrestler.
you're fat, because the goal is to build muscle.
Right.
You shouldn't have too much of fat. 15% is already good enough. You can still perform at your best. You have probably more water retention because of the food you're eating and the style of training and all that, and probably lesser cardio you do and all that, because you want to keep your gains. And this is done. You see, some people, what they do is they get so fat at it, right?
Yeah.
Then when they want to prepare, they go to the other extreme, where they cut everything and they go. So in my case now, I don't do that.
Right.
My off-season and in-season, I taper very, like let's say, for example, now I give you, I'm on 500 grams of carbs a day. I'm taking about 4,400 to 4,500 calories now.
Crazy.
Okay? But I keep my fat level quite low. But 65 to 60 grams of fat only. That's relative low for 4,500 calories, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So my protein is about 390 to 400, around this. So what I do is, when I start my diet from this, I only taper my carbs gradually, like 10%, 10% week by week, and depending on how I start losing, and I do a bit more cardio, I increase. Okay? So this way, I try to keep the mass as much as possible, gradually eliminating the fat, which is, so like whatever gains made in the off season, I try to hold it.
Understand.
Instead of going from this end to the other end,
Right.
it's just basically like pumping water and removing the water out.
Right. Yeah. Have you all wonder, you listener, you want to pack on so much muscle, assuming that you have to eat so much calorie until you get fat. And tiba-tiba, you want to remove everything. No carbs lah, no fat lah, and your calorie from 4,000 become, let's say, 1,500. It's macam tak logic kan?
Yes, all right.
And they'll be counterproductive di mana you'll lose a lot of muscles. You feel very moody. I mean, I still remember last time Kumar bila the diet when did very extreme.
Yeah,
Can't
because I
even-
got too fat. And,
Yeah. So, how do you want to advise to
no,
those?
because I've done it like that before. So I can tell from experience
Right.
that the gains made there also, you probably gain because you're young and you're still lifting and all that. But it's not at an optimal level.
Okay.
When I say optimal means, it's like now you see, when you gain, there's quality gain and you can sustain it as well.
Agree?
So that is more important, sustaining it. Like now you see, I said 4,005, right? My diet last week out also, I don't go below 3,000 calories.
Wow.
Still 3,002, 3,001. But of course, I'm also about 107 kilos now and I compete with about 94, 93 kilos. So my weight is a bit heavier. But even then, what I'm saying is, you don't have to like drastically drop to 2,000 or 1,800. It makes no sense. So you want to be on stage, but in a heavyweight category and you eating 1,800, unless you want to make weight.
Right.
You like want to make below 95 or below 90. And yet that is very extreme. And this is not done like on a long-term thing, short-term thing, very short, just to cheat the body. Then you see the gate. But I'm talking about if let's say there is no constraint of what the weight must be and you just want to look at your best, then definitely you don't get fat. Yeah.
Okay, so to summarize, to pack on more muscle, jangan jadi gemuk gila.
Yeah, betul.
That's it. That's to summarize. Okay, now let's go into the main topic here. Just the other day, I visit Kumar, written back the book I pinjam, and we had a small discussion regarding about him competing. Do you want to share with the listeners and viewer regarding about your future goals in competition?
Okay, just a short brief one. Brief history on what my bodybuilding was.
Yes.
I mean, I've mentioned it before, but okay, for me, bodybuilding is basically is building. For me, it's a very passionate thing. More than now, it's become competitive and everything. But initially, how it started and how it is even today is, it's me trying to be at my best.
Understand.
Develop a physique that I feel this is the best of me. Mass, condition, symmetry. So I'm trying to sculpture this physique that I feel is the best version. Okay? Bodybuilding wise, that like, everybody got their own interest, right? Some people may say they like this kind of physique. They can. So I like a physique that which is a
So that's what you see as a progression lah.
correct.
Can.
This is the ultimate goal of bodybuilding.
Okay.
So how I started my entire bodybuilding thing was every competition I looked at was just a platform for me to work towards to achieve my goal of improving my physique.
Understand.
Not about the titles, not about hitting the I sudah menang ni, I'm somebody, I sudah menang. I never thought like that. My goal was I always even like today I still feel like my legs I need to improve this, my sweep I mean my outer vastus I have to improve this,
Right.
or my bicep. I'm looking at how to fill up the physique. This the guy that started at 18, 17, how he wanted to, the knowledge grew later.
Right.
And as you learn more, you start discovering, this must be done, that must be done, correct? But that is always who I am first.
Okay.
So that is always the first mission of mine. Second only is that, sekarang nama Malaysia, next apa, ni, itu semua. That was never that one is later.
Right.
So my goal has always been bodybuilding, passion, sculpturing the physique, and every competition was a platform for me. It's like I didn't bother what mana competition saya masuk, or even can be one boot kampung, say jago kampung competition kat what sebelah rumah ke, atau competition kat Thailand ke, Indonesia ke, wherever. I just looked at it as a platform. And as I start getting better, I wanted to take part in competitions where it was tougher. I never wanted to this one thing I had from very young. I don't like to go into a competition where I know I can really win.
Right.
I mean, I want to win when I go, But I don't like to go to a competition where I know for a fact that I am definitely going to win.
Okay, sure. Stop there. So usually people say they want to compete in a competition that they must win. They takut nak masuk yang kalah.
I didn't know.
I give you example. I nak compete. Then I tahu Kumar masuk. Tak nak lah sebab Kumar masuk nanti I kalah. I nak masuk competition yang I boleh menang. So that's usually the mindset that if you ask me, takut kalah lah. And they do not want to improve. So Kumar choose a competition yang can improve.
Correct.
Regardless whether you can win or it's a bit challenging to you.
Correct. You remember, I give you an example. I took part in Fitway.
Right.
Fitway Classic. At that time, 2013, 2014, 2014 Fitway and all these competitions was one of the toughest competition in Southeast Asia.
Right.
It's an open show where bodybuilders from every federation come and all that, especially from Southeast Asia, the best bodybuilders come. My coach company used to organize it, but there was no favoritism, nothing, because Mike is the last person who does this thing. You don't care. But what I used to do, I used to call or message other athletes that are very tough,
Right.
from Philippines, from Indonesia, and tell them to come as well.
Ooh.
And Mike looked at me and smiled and he said, like, it's going to be tougher for you to even get into the top 5. I say, it's okay. I want to stand these guys on stage. So this has been my intention from last time. I look for competitions where I want to stand with the best. Then only I can actually know where I actually stand.
Nice.
It doesn't make no sense for me. Like, you see, honestly speaking, in Malaysia, I could have taken part in 2013, 14, 15. So I didn't. That time I felt like, not that I'm too good or what. I'm not saying that not being concerned. What I said, I always like to challenge myself to see where you actually stand and stand against tough athletes. Only then you will be driven to improve yourself. That's why I said, there's no point being a king and a man of no land. Correct?
Yeah.
I'd rather be a soldier somewhere that is really, you got a battle to fight.
Okay, can I say also, can I add on is it worth it for me to prep just to compete among my friends?
Friends mean?
Friends meaning Malaysian athletes lah. Can. Because
No, I don't think Malaysian athletes are actually very good. But what I'm saying is, they're very good. I mean, Malaysian athletes are the one who have won Fitway.
Right.
All these Malaysian athletes, we don't really know, because you see, Abah Shukri,
Yeah.
I used to want to go and compete where he competed. Abah Shukri was probably one of the best. From 2005 to 2015, 18, he was one of the best. Dinesh was very good. Bang Jayan was good. Zainal Arif, until now, very good, one of the best.
Right.
So there were a lot of Malaysian athletes who were damn good, who could stand with anybody in Southeast Asia. I'm not even talking about Mas Azali and Wong Sifula. They are different league already.
Right.
But these athletes were all very good, but they never got the recognition like how maybe Abang Sifu or Abang Azali got, because they were never really with the MBBF.
Okay. So you're going to touch on that a bit after this. So back to you aiming to progress. Okay. And you think it's not, in my view, it's not worth it for you to compete if the competition, you already know you're going to win. Am I right?
Correct.
So you keep finding a much more competitive platform. So you already won number 2 in the world.
Actually, no, I'm to the world. I mean,
In
I
the
took part in the Federation World Championship. In my category heavyweight, I got second.
Okay, so let me rephrase.
Some people will say number 2 in the world. Like, number 2 in the world technically would be Hadi Chopan, because last year Mr. Olympia, he got second.
Right.
So I'm very far from that.
Okay, so for those yang tak tahu bodybuilding, there's so many federation.
Correct.
So what Kumas mentioned here, Hadi Chopar, number 2 in the world, is in Olympia.
That's the ultimate.
That's Olympia is, if you're in Olympia, you're the best of the best.
Yes, correct.
And top 10 in the world, let's say. So when I mentioned number 2 in the world is for the federation.
WBBF, and that's an amateur federation. I mean, it's a federation of its own. At WBBF, there's IFBB, so many, right? So, which is non-pro, WBBF, but it's also very tough,
Right.
because a lot of athletes from all over the world come. I mean, most WBBF used to be under IFBB, right?
Okay.
So this world championship that I took part in is where Ronnie Coleman got his pro. Last time when it was under IFBB,
Right.
that's where Ronnie Coleman, John Pierre Folks all got their pro cards when they win the overall. Dennis Wolf, you get it now. This was in 2010, ABBF came out of IFBB.
Okay.
You understand? Before that, which was all one. Abang Sazali has won 4 IFBB Mr. Universe in his category. At that time, MBBF was under ABBF, Asian Bodybuilding Federation, and ABBF was under IFBB. Okay. So what happened in 2010, there was a small issue, and then ABBF came out of IFBB.
I see.
And then they formed another federation called WBBF.
Okay.
So ABBF, MBBF and all follow this WBBF, dia orang keluar daripada IFBB.
I see.
So if you take back now, like apa yang Abang Malik Noor menang, apa yang Abang Sazali menang, the 4 events, Terry Galliot,
Right.
What's his name, Sazali, Abang Sazali, all this one day, that was under IFBB.
I see.
ABBF, but it was under IFBB.
Okay.
So most of the people today don't even know this history of bodybuilding, you know. Right? So then Malaysia came out, and Malaysia will follow ABBF where it is, because ABBF is the only one that has this Olympic sports thing. So they can organize games. So if there's bodybuilding in Asian Games or SEA Games, they will always MBBF will follow which federation has this. Because end of the day, the country will only support the federation which has games in it.
I see.
Who can have in the games macam, because this bring medal to the country.
Macam Sukansi, Sukma,
Sukansi, Sukana, Asian Games, Olympics also, depending on hosting, but Olympics is very controversial. They never had it before.
Right.
Yeah, but Asian Games, they have had it before in 2002, 2006. Depending on the hosting country, so far they never had it ever since 2006.
How would I ask this? No need be so detailed. ABBF and IBB separated.
ABBF came out of IBB, correct?
Okay. So they open up a new federation
Called WBBF.
called WBBF, and main reason why Malaysia is competing under WBBF is because they do organize sports that government recognize.
Correct. They are under the games.
Under the sports game lah, semua benda ni.
Asian Games, SEA Games. Bukan baru-baru ni ada SEA Games kan? Abang Mike Mahin menang gold medal kan?
Yeah.
So that was under WBBF.
Okay.
So katakan Malaysia not under WBBF. Dia dengan IBB kan? Dia tak boleh masuk dalam SEA Games.
Right.
So dia kena dalam WBBF baru boleh masuk SEA Games.
Okay, this is where kita nak tahu So kalau athlete compete under WBBF, but at the end of the day, they want to go into IBB, why don't they just masuk IBB terus je? Why they have to masuk MBBF, compete first for few years?
IBB, you want to be an IBB, the ultimate goal is to be a pro.
Right.
Okay, you know the bodybuilders, the amateur, pro. So amateur so far in Malaysia, all bodybuilders in Malaysia, amateurs except for Sifu Wong Hong, who turned pro.
Right.
Then he gave up his pro card and he came back as an amateur to take part. Then he won SEA Games. You remember, right? He won SEA Games at age, because he can't be a pro and come back and compete. He has to give up his pro card. He gave up his pro card and he came back to WBBF. He took a federation. So he gave up his IFBB pro card. He came to WBBF and he took part here. Then Abang Ade Azmawi recently turned pro.
Yeah.
These are the only 2 bodybuilders who are pro. Men physique, there is Terence Steele and his student also, Joshua, right? Then I think there's a female IFBB pro, right?
I can't recall. Sorry.
Maybe there's one bikini. I think that, because I saw the poster, I saw one girl there.
I see.
So these are the only pros who are, once you're a pro, you only can take part in pro shows. You can't take part in any other show.
Understand.
And the goal is you have to win the pro show in order to take part in Mr. Olympia.
Okay.
And that, so far, only Terence Steele has done. Nobody else has done. He has won a pro show in Italy, and he qualified himself for Olympia. And he has even gotten invited for the Arnold Classic before. That's true invitation. So he has basically hit all the milestones.
Okay, now the question. Okay, macam Terence, I've seen his progress from 2013 kot. Masa mula-mula balik Aussie, I tengok.
The time he take part masuk Mania.
Kan, he gradually.
Yeah.
But he terus masuk dekat IFBB.
Dia masuk Mania.
Masa Mania dulu for few years, then IFBB.
Correct.
Like, why athlete lain tak follow that route?
They do. They now like WBBF. I mean, WFF masuk IBB. Some terus masuk. Nowadays young one all terus masuk IBB.
Right.
Because that time didn't. You see, when Terence Stewart got his pro card also, it was organized in Johor. Man of Steel.
Oh, yes.
His pro card was off. You know that.
Yeah.
So this was something very new. Pro cards being offered today, like, I mean, Dorian needs to make fun. You say pro cards are being offered like candies today.
Right.
So anybody can turn pro.
Right.
I mean, Terence was a deserving pro.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, because it's become very business.
Right.
Federation want to make money. So this, dulu, nak jadi pro, I'm talking when Sifu's time and all that, 2000 to the, you must win the Mr. Universe overall.
Right.
Or you got to take part in the US NPC, which is only held in US, to turn pro. So very hard to turn pro.
Right.
If you turn pro, it really means something.
Yeah.
Today, there is pro qualifiers in almost every country.
No.
There's one in Malaysia in October, I'll be participating in it. There's one in Vietnam. There's one in Thailand. There's in Philippines. There was in Singapore a few years back. So India there is. So you name it, there are pro qualifiers in every country. So turning pro is still tough. But what I'm saying is like, it wasn't as difficult as before, and tak ramai orang ada peluang nak jadi pro also.
Okay.
And when you become pro, what's next?
Exactly.
Dulu, because when you're an amateur, a lot of pro bodybuilders before, like our Sifu and all that, they gave up the pro card and came back as an amateur because they can still participate in other shows and win. But when you are a pro, the only goal direction you go towards is Mr. Olympia.
Right.
So that's the ultimate, and that's like only a few of bodybuilders. Like now, there are thousands of pros.
Yeah.
But you probably won't even know 100 pros.
Betul?
Correct or not?
Yeah.
You won't even know about that is active today. I don't think you can even name 30 pros. So 30 to 40 pro body. Maybe you know because you rajin follow dalam Instagram, you mungkin ikut lah.
Yeah.
Kalau tidak, Mr. Olympia, there's only about 15 to 20 participants in the open bodybuilding.
Right.
Correct or not?
True.
But there are more and more categories today lah. Back then, very few categories also. Man physique itself now only about 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Classic physique, very new.
Right.
So now more categories.
Yep.
More. Dulu ada bodybuilding je, tak ada 212.
Yeah.
So if anybody want to step on stage, they have to be 100 over kilos.
Right.
Sifu was very small to be here. Sifu was 102 kilos on stage, and he was considered small. His goal was to try to qualify for Olympia open bodybuilding. But he went for Australian Grand Prix and all that. He did very well. In the show he competed, there was Dexter Jackson, there was Kai Green, there was Melvin Anthony, Vince Taylor, and he managed to get Hidetara Yamagishi, and he managed to get number 7. That really meant something there.
Of course.
You know or not? There was the Australian Grand Prix, and if the person who wins that only goes to Mr. Olympia.
Crazy.
So imagine, you see the lineup there.
Yeah.
How are you going to qualify to Mr. Olympia? You see, so that's the difference.
Okay, now back to the pro card. Like what you mentioned just now. Okay, once you win the pro card, then what? Is it just for status purpose? Atau you memang...
Okay, bodybuilding is it's very genetically given. Told you that before. We've spoken about this before. So, if you are going to be in the Olympia stage, you're already 1 out of 1 million.
Right.
You must have that kind of genetics. Not everybody can step on that stage. I'm talking about, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about man physique and all this. I speak about my category because I speak about bodybuilding easier. I think man physique also seems very competitive, but maybe there are more. I see there are, Mr. Olympia, there's about 40, 30 athletes.
Right.
Not like, it's more than that also. Like Mr. Olympia, bodybuilding open category, there are hardly 20 athletes, normally 15 to 17 athletes. So that means 15 to 17 or 20 athletes that are best in the world on the stage that day. Maybe 1 or 2 didn't make it because of injury or what, but rest are all there. So in order to beat that, you're definitely 1 out of 1 billion or 1 out of 1 million or 1 out of millions. Your genetic has to be out. That means these guys probably grow looking at the dumbbells itself, but they put the work around, you know not.
Yeah.
So for you to reach there, it's not very easy. And if you want to reach there, you will know it when you're very young itself. Like when you start, within the few years, you'll boom. You see like Derek now, in Mr. Olympia, 30 years old.
Okay.
So dah menang Mr. Olympia. He just, 5 years ago, he was so thin.
Right.
Samson Dauda, 10 years ago, you take one picture, he was so skinny. Boom, tiba-tiba, dah macam tu. They all grow like that. Because they are meant for this sport. So for somebody who is like us, like me, myself, I speak from 1 to 10 pro, it's just a satisfaction thing. And then how you want to market with it or how you want to use it for son is that. But I don't think it's realistic for me to say that I want to step on Olympia stage or what.
Okay. But you do want to become a pro, am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So that's what I'm trying to understand. Okay. Before this, kita ada discuss. Kumar kata, okay, you know what? I'm going to try IBB. Pro. I mean, you want to qualify for the pro. Then we're going to compete for the pro. So if you say just for satisfaction, my assumption, if you say that, you compete, then habis.
Okay, let me put it this way. When I started bodybuilding, that means when I was like, not junior time lah, junior habis, compete finish. Then when I came back, I trained under Sifu.
Right.
I thought I want to turn pro because Sifu was a pro.
Right.
I say I want to turn pro like Sifu. Then as I train, I work and I see the route to become a pro is very tough. Back then didn't have like this NPC, this many shows.
Right.
There was, you only have to go to Arnold Classic, which was in Madrid or in the States.
Yeah.
There you turn pro, which was very tough. So then I was like, and I feel like I was very realistic. So I stuck at Southeast Asia, so I competed with the best and all that. And I'm only like top 3, top 5, top 3, ada menang sekali-sekali, like, you know not. But, so like, let's say at that time in Southeast Asia, like you're one of the top bodybuilders. But it's very far from turning pro.
Right.
You understand? So I was like, okay, so then when I was already in that process, my goal was more towards improving myself and making my physique better and better. So I didn't bother about like just getting a pro card. Tak guna ada itu pro card, tapi your physique, you're not happy with your progress. Today you can suddenly take part in a pro qualifier where there's not many people didn't turn up. But there are already so many countries. So. Suddenly you turn pro, but are you actually really pro? Are you happy with your physique or not? That's a bigger question for you to answer. For me to answer. So for me, the goal was always to improve yourself. Then after COVID, I just came back on to look for platforms to compete. So that's why I took part in Mr. Malaysia. Then I got an opportunity to take part, represent Malaysia. Went for the World Championship. Then I took part again in Mr. Malaysia. I thought like, I won Mr. Malaysia, but I didn't win overall 2022. Then I said, okay, come back harder because that was after 5 years. So I felt like, no, that was not my best. I can come back better. And the next year I came 2023, I won the overall. And when I took part in Indonesia one show, I did very well in that. 38 athletes, I got second. Then I took part in World Championship also last year. Competed against quite a tough India athletes.
Okay, I want to ask this. Since MBBF, right?
Yeah.
Have a lot of federation, have a lot of competition. Why don't they offer pro card?
They don't have a lot of competition.
What's your name?
WBBF.
No, MBBF.
WBBF.
WBBF.
No, they don't have a lot of competition.
Okay.
They only got Mr. Asia, so Southeast Asia, for Malaysians to take part in, Mr. Universe, Mr. World.
Okay.
3 competitions a year only.
Okay.
So that is why I feel like.
Then what's the point? Okay. I dah tak compete.
So I jadi national athlete kan? That's the thing I find like very unfair. This is a bit controversial lah, but it's okay lah.
Please share. I want to know. I tak pernah jadi atlet Malaysia, I tak tahu.
Not about being athlete Malaysia, even for an athlete lah. Okay, you see this sport this sport is very, very expensive.
Yes.
To prepare.
Very true.
The supplements, the food, and leave aside that, you spend a lot of time preparing.
Agree.
Where you compromise the time where you could use to earn money or do something else in life. So you've lost money, chances of earning money, and on top of that, you're spending money.
Right.
So the loss is actually a lot. You get it?
Yeah.
Not only about the money you spend.
Right.
The opportunity of doing something, because you train, you come back, you're exhausted, you're tired and everything. You cannot put your mind to do something else or so to do properly and all that. So there's so much a sacrifice into this. Mainly because passion only for anybody who's at the top. When they really go all out. You get on. This is a kind of, they're very driven into it and they do it this way. Okay? So when you go all out like this, everybody do everything by themselves.
Why so? Okay. Okay.
Even if you become overall champion.
Chok. Okay, chok Okay, you dah menang semua. I see the potential. Okay, this guy boleh pergi lagi jauh. When you kata you have to do it by yourself, kenapa orang lain tak nak tolong you to represent?
When you mean orang lain means you're telling about MBBF government, right?
Whoever lah, a government. Okay, we're going to use example sport. Aziz Awang, Korean cyclist. Okay, I knew him personally. I mean, not really close, but in Aussie. because my housemate beritahu, this is national athlete.
Okay.
Okay, dia duduk kat Australia. People endorse him to stay in Australia to belajar and to train.
Okay, understand. No, you see, what you mean is okay, first of all, the sport.
Right.
Bodybuilding falls under category C.
Okay, define that.
Okay, they got class A, class B, class C.
Okay.
So this is like the paling bawah sekali punya kategori.
Okay.
Dulu dia ada kat kategori A tau. Masa tu you menang World Championship, you dapat RM80,000.
Wow. Masa tu bila? How many years ago? 10 years ago? Yeah.
More than 10 years ago.
Right.
About 15 years ago, 14 years ago, yes. Then they moved it to category C. Menang World Championship dapat RM20,000.
Okay.
And suddenly bila katakan tak cukup athlete, like let's say that's not your fault. You do your best. You go 100%. Correct. But you compete. Sure, suddenly got only 5 athletes. Got not enough countries. Right. Not athlete. Dia lebih 8 negara dalam punya kategori. Tiba-tiba ada 5 tanah. They'll potong your money.
Oh wow.
Like
They
now,
is who? They is
a
a
government lah.
Oh, okay.
Like now, for example, Malaysia, I went World Championship last year. First place 20,000.
Okay.
Second place is 10,000 ringgit.
Okay.
Government dia. My bank dapat 3,700.
Ouch.
So bila I tanya, dia cakap tak cukup
Negara.
negara dalam kategori. So I feel like that's not my fault. How is that my fault? I put all my effort in. I prepared everything. And I prepared the whole thing by myself.
Right.
I didn't get any funding or money or anything.
Right.
The first year I go represent Malaysia after winning in Malaysia also. I paid myself. I paid my flight ticket. I paid my accommodation. Everything, registration, everything I paid.
But you carrying Malaysia punya name to compete?
Yes, to compete.
Okay.
Because it's my first time.
Okay.
Then in the first World Championship, when I managed to get top 5, you have to prove yourself. This is the rule how it works in Malaysia for bodybuilding. I don't know about other sports. You have to compete first. You spend your own money.
Wow.
A to Z. Then I paid 6,000 ringgit, but the competition got Phuket.
Right.
And it's very expensive. I competed 1 month before that in Indonesia in an open show. My wife and I fly there on our own. We stayed in hotel, everything. I spent 3,200.
Wow.
Registration, everything. The competition, saya dapat nombor 2, saya menang RM8,000.
Okay.
This competition, I go to Thailand. I spent RM6,000. I don't know why it's so expensive.
Right.
For me alone, not including my wife, everything. I participate. I come back. I got top 5. So then they say, okay, we masukkan you dalam national team.
Okay.
Because you berjaya buktikan as an athlete. So I said, like, okay lah, semangat. Okay. And Mr. Malaysia, I win overall again. So like more credential, like, okay. So World Championship, I go. They pay my flight, everything, the color, this and all. But the whole prep, everything is still on your own. The coach I pay is myself. I got my own coach. I pay for my supplements. I pay for my daily food. I pay for my gym membership. I own my own gym. So A to Z, the preparation is done by yourself.
Right.
What you're paid for as a national athlete is your flight ticket,
Right.
your accommodation there, your they give you the the canteen food there, but you won't eat that because you're preparing yourself. So you have to buy your own food. You understand? So everything is spent under your own money, other than this and registration. So these 4 things is paid.
Okay.
So when you go and compete, you get second place. You think you get 10,000, but then you come back, you get 3,000. So then I feel like, why I do this?
Right. Okay. Now, maybe this question is sensitive sikit. You rasa they keep sending the same people?
No.
Okay.
Anybody can. Okay, that's a wrong talk. A lot of people outside here complain. Dia hantar orang sama je, hantar. You nak masuk, you datang lah.
Faham?
They never stop you.
Right.
If you think you want to enter, just go and give your name and say I want to compete.
Okay.
Dia akan you tak menang Mr. Malaysia pun dia orang ada bagi chance sometimes. You just prove by rights at least you patut menang Mr. Malaysia, then you can go. You see the thing is you kena bayar duit sendiri dan pergi.
Right.
First time. You get it?
Okay.
So anybody willing to do that, and they got doping.
Right. Faham?
This one berani, tak ramai berani. Itu ikut nasib lah. Tiba-tiba ada doping, takkan ada. Bila ada doping, ini semua kita tahu. That's the thing about being in a national team.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't dare do this.
Okay.
You get it? So straight away blame, make the story very like dia orang bawa orang sama je, bawa orang. Because orang sama sanggup bagi doping.
Right.
Orang sama, so you don't blame that.
Okay.
They say no, Abang Budak, Abang Mike, orang sama je pergi selalu, you know lah. Israel orang sama je pergi, dia orang bagi dia pergi. You nak masuk, how I entered. I made that attempt, I entered, but now I'm not very happy with
the treatment.
not the outcome. I felt like I competed on my own. I go enter, at least like, I got my own. Like here I go, I find like, don't know lah.
That's why hari tu I ada buat content. I kata atlet negara ni kekurangan gratitude. Orang tak appreciate.
Correct. This is right. That's the bigger word. You feel like, you know, you go there, you want like, I spend everything and go.
Right.
Exactly. The least you could do as the federation or something, macam iktiraf you lah. You menang Indonesia overall. You pergi World Championship dapat number 2. There is no recognition.
Right.
Nothing. You know lah, nothing. Like
akan ada orang kecam, akan kata, apa you nak? Orang nak hantar bunga kat rumah you? Because when I post that, you can see the comment.
No, not that. I mean like, I'm not asking from, you got a lot of support, a lot of recognition.
Right.
From general public.
Right.
From your Facebook, Instagram, people really support you. This, that, they do, like you call interview, like this. This got, but this all taken initiative by us. We post, people bagi recognizes. Katakan tak ada Instagram.
Betul. Setuju.
You know not? Kalau tak ada Instagram, tak ada orang akan tahu apa yang
setuju sangat.
You understand? Because of my Instagram ni, I sendiri kena taruh. I sendiri kena, apa orang post pasal I share. So orang tahu, you menang, congratulations. Like you.
Betul.
So today, you take the effort by yourself, everything.
Betul.
Nobody there to receive you also in that point. I mean, God lah. I mean, the MBBF people get World Championship number 2.
Yeah.
You go and ask somebody in the sports ministry today what. So they won't know.
Okay, I nak menyampur sikit. I will share my personal experience and one of my guests. Baru I post the other day. So I start with my guest dulu. So that boy, he was junior number 1 in the world in natural competition, IMBA. And bila I tanya, bro, congrats, sudah menang. So, apa you dapat? Oh, nothing. Then tak ada siapa greet you ke? Oh, ada my parents. So the only people that knows that he's number 1 in the world, apart from Federation, IMBA, is his parents je.
And his Instagram followers.
Follower Instagram pun tak ramai.
I mean, if you have, that's all lah.
And the thing, paling kesian about him, he pinjam RM20,000 for the competition. Correct. Nobody endorse him, nothing dah. Okay, that is my guest cerita. My cerita, I was lucky enough, I was in Australia. I tengah belajar. I compete. Taklah duit banyak sangat kan. Bila dah menang pun, I kena hantar email dekat Malaysia bagi tahu I dah pernah menang. So, I rasa lah atlet kat Malaysia ni tak cukup gratitude disebabkan diorang tak cukup popular. If you ask me.
Attitude. I don't think that athlete tak ada gratitude.
No, atlet tak dapat enough. Tak dapat appreciation lah. So kita tak dapat appreciation daripada say public ke federation.
No, public, okay. I would say more like the media or the sports bodies, you know, the federation and the government, the Kementerian Belia dan Sukan. They don't take the initiative to know this sport taking place, what is going on, and like. Because now, okay, let's say other federation, they don't care. NBC, like now you say INBA, because they're not under KBS.
Betul.
But MBBF under KBS kan. Tapi you tengok, bila Mr. Malaysia berlangsung, tak ada orang daripada, tak ada satu menteri pun datang untuk tengok Mr. Malaysia. Tak ada keluarkan news pun.
Right.
You know not?
True.
Kecil-kecil macam tu keluar news is that. You know not? Like no proper coverage.
Right.
Like so I feel like there's not, the recognition is not, setakat you kena pergi, you kena tanya, you kena buat macam tu, like I have to go. I feel like no, my job is just to perform as an athlete. I give 100% as an athlete.
Right.
Kalau I kena buat ni semua, lebih baik I pergi on my own lah, buat turn. That's why I say I rather turn pro and be an individual. Why should I be under the federation?
Yalah, betul. And just nak bagi tahu, there's another gentleman named Kumar, very active, helping the athletes. Recently he organized an event to show appreciation to athlete Malaysia, and banyak athlete dapat award juga. And he's not under the federation, he is not an athlete at all. He is just a gentleman that understand that so much effort required to be an athlete.
He's under KLBB, he's the president of KLBB.
Yeah, so he do it individually kan. It's not under the federation kan.
He buat under Enrich's company lah.
Yeah, so that's why I invited him as a guest juga. Like, why is he so passionate? Kan, like, apa kena mengena? He's not a coach. He's not an athlete. Why he's so passionate? And based on his story, memang he dibesarkan by very well dengan cara tolong orang. And I think he understand that the struggle all the athlete goes. If you ask me lah. Okay, kepada pendengar dan penonton kat luar sana yang nak jadi atlet, now you can hear the truth. Like, memang seronok jadi atlet bila orang kenal you, nombor satu dalam Malaysia, nombor satu whatever competition you participate. Tapi is it worth it to be an athlete?
Okay, if you look at it like that, right, daripada segi from the government dapat ke ni, that's why I said that I realized that I have no regrets.
Okay.
This is the best decision ever made. Me becoming a bodybuilder. Bodybuilding has given me everything.
Nice.
And I don't want to be dependent on people also. So I can tell easily that everything that I did was out of my own hard work, and who I am today is out of my own efforts. I mean, I support family, friends and all this. But besides that, like tadi like you check out endorsement lah, inilah, itulah daripada government dapat ni semua tak ada. So I would say being a bodybuilder or doing bodybuilding is great. It's good. But if you are coming in with the mindset that this is going to give me things in return, like you think like that, actually that won't work for any sport for that matter. Let's say even like today, let's say a basketball player or national footballer earns a lot, okay? Footballer and all that. Not national basketball player, but I mean a professional, but they earn a lot. But if you go with that mindset, you cannot do well. The sport initially anybody who becomes good in a sport is without knowing whether that sport has got great future in it or that or not, because they have the skill, they are young, they don't think about all this, they just work on the skill, they jadi baik, and they become the best in it.
Right.
Suddenly somebody becomes the best squash player or best table tennis player or best tennis player. Kalau katakan somebody want to choose, dia akan pilih tennis sebab tennis earn more than probably a table tennis player.
Or soccer.
Soccer, you earn the most. I mean, you want to be the best in it. But your skill, what you're given based on your body type and your preference and your what you like, you cultivate this without knowing this, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Of course.
So bodybuilding is like that. It's very good. It makes you very disciplined, gives you everything
Agreed.
that is in it. But in order to be successful or to do well as being a bodybuilder, you cannot expect to be that the sport itself will pay you.
And
You kena pandai buat kerja selain. That means gunakan whatever you learn from this bodybuilding. That means this discipline that where you can diet, your mind control, your mental strength and everything. Gunakan kekuatan ni, but learn how to channel that into into your business,
right.
into your personal life. Have this discipline into working hard, simultaneously build something on the side, which is very good today with a lot of platforms like YouTube, TikTok or what, Instagram, even to set up your own business, everything will help. But don't just do bodybuilding, educate yourself also.
Right.
Like belajar, kalau tak, I mean, you don't have a degree, it's fine, but like go do papers, go for courses, dengar baik-baik. Like,
I want to add. Expectation tu rendah sikit.
apa?
Expectation rendah sikit.
Yeah.
Meaning, I pun dulu berangan. Tengok magazine semua kan. Masuk bodybuilding, kalau I menang jadi tak sponsor macam Ronnie Coleman. Berangan lah, I berangan kan. My expectation was, if you compete, if you win, out of nowhere, you get 100,000. Then people endorse you, give a
But you know what is Ronnie Coleman doing?
No, I don't.
No, you see, Ronnie Coleman himself is endorsing his own brand.
Right.
He's going out to work.
Yeah.
He goes everywhere,
Yes.
for pushing his brand. So today's world, everybody works.
Yeah.
Even the biggest flaw, right? Probably
We named the top lah. Ronnie Coleman, Dorian Yates, Kevin LeBron.
all of them are
All are the supplement brand.
correct.
Kan?
And they are pushing their brand. How they stand out. They're going standing at the booth,
Yeah.
talking to people. and doing, you think, hey, the world champion, why the fellow still standing at the booth, pushing his brand, going to country after country in every expo, standing there, you get it or not? Push. Why? What's the need to do this? Because end of the day, this is how it is. Like, you want to be just, you can be satisfied where you are. Like, okay, ni cukup lah, ni cukup, jadi duduk cukup. But if you feel like, no, I want to, this athlete is one side, then your personal growth as a businessman or as a whatever it is lah, whatever you're doing.
If you want to earn more income, you have to monetize your kemenangan ke, you punya brand lah. I would call this branding. I'm going to use one example. One of my guests before this was Jason. Okay, so Jason monetize himself very well. He know how to educate people. He also share a lot of content. From there, he monetize. Banyak bodybuilder pun berkongsi with me that bodybuilding is not cheap. I understand that. But at the same time also, we have to figure a way how can we earn more with ourselves from the competition. Ke macam Kumar mentioned tadi kan, bodybuilder, they do personal training. Bodybuilder, they open their own gym. Bodybuilder, they can do online coaching. There's so many other things that you can do. Expectation as kalau you compete, you jadi kaya tu rendahkan. Because I tak jumpa lagi lah bodybuilder, they compete number 1 in the world jadi multi-millionaire. Dah jumpa ke belum? Tak ada kan? I pun tak pernah dengar lagi.
Memang susah. The end of the day, dia kena buat kerja juga.
So you have to...
Si Bam sendiri tengok. His earnings through classic physique bukan banyak.
Right.
50,000, 100. I don't even think $100,000. Very less.
Cannot cover.
Tapi you see, he's one of the most successful bodybuilders today. Why? Because of his Instagram and his YouTube, and then he comes out with his own apparel, his own supplement. He's a brand by himself.
Agree.
So today's world is about that. Like how Jordan Yo, for example. So like you got gunakan, use this as a platform, as a base, then you work on that.
So to summarize, daripada cerita-cerita yang controversial tadi, Kumar nak compete dalam pro bukan sebab nak pro saja, is kepada you guys, for those of you guys are very passionate in competitive bodybuilding, you have to lower down your expectation that if you compete, you win number 1, you're going to be very rich. No, that's not going to happen. You have to monetize yourself, create a brand for yourself so you can earn money from it. Competitive bodybuilding or most sports lah, kita panggil most sport ni excluding football, excluding NFL, excluding tu lah.
That is like pro level lah, it's a different thing.
Tu dah lain dah, kan. Tapi for bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit, you cannot get rich by competing. You can earn a bit of income. Macam Kumar kata 8,000. Before this, one of my guests won 10,000. Congrats to them. But to earn it as a living, it's impossible. Right? So hopefully in future, you guys are memang macam teringin sangat lah. You got so inspired daripada cerita Kumar and all other guests. Go out, participate in this competition. It helps you to become a stronger person competitively. But to make money, to earn money, you have to do other things and monetize yourself. Create a brand for yourself. So having said that, before we end, Kumar, any last word you nak share with the listener viewers?
I don't want anybody to think that bodybuilding is actually something that if you nak buat tu, you akan, tak nak lah. I don't want them to get the image like, janganlah buat bodybuilding nanti susah je. Actually, no. Bodybuilding,
when you say susah tu apa?
Susah nanti dalam hidup, like very hard to survive in this world.
Okay.
You understand? That's wrong actually. You can be successful as well. Every profession in this world, there are people who succeed and the people. So it all ends up on how you are, how you're willing to work and do what it takes. So for me, I feel like bodybuilding is the best thing that I've ever done. And if I were to go back in time and come back, I will still choose to be a bodybuilder only.
I understand.
So I'm very happy with this decision, but you have to put the work and don't, like what you say just now, don't think that you can become a pro and earn tons of money. That is wrong. You have to make sure that you work simultaneously on
Yeah.
the side. Like work means work on yourself,
Yeah.
monetize whatever achievements that you do,
Yeah.
and think out of the box.
Yeah, totally agree. So having said that, also just letting you all know, if you have any question, put down your question below. So the next episode, I will answer your question. Take care. See you guys again. Peace out.